Scene script. AITAH for calling my father-in-law a bstard after he pressured us into getting a paternity test. In my husband's family, you inherit from your grandparents. My husband's father got it into his head that our son was the product of me having an affair. He said that he would not set aside money for him unless we got a paternity test. My husband told his father to go duck himself and we cut him off. It has been a couple of years now and he wants back into our lives, but he still wanted a paternity test. My husband and I talked about it and we agreed under the condition that when it turned out that my husband was the father, the money for our son would be in an irrevocable trust for his future, even though obviously his grandfather has not passed away. He agreed and we did a test sort of like 23andMe, but more reputable and private. It just so happens that my son is indeed my husband's child, but he is not related to a bunch of his paternal relatives. My husband's mom is a saint and she divorced her jackass ex a long time ago. He immediately started shitting on her for cheating since obviously the test showed that my husband was illegitimate. 2 tests later, the results are back and my father-in-law is definitely my husband's father. My father-in-law, however, is not the offspring of the man he always thought was his dad. We had a legally binding contract, so my son has his inheritance waiting for him when he turns 25. We saw my father-in-law over the holidays and he was complaining about how he had to liquefy some of his assets to set up the trust fund. I said that if he had just accepted his grandson and hadn't been such a bstard about it, then we would all have been happier. He got very quiet and very angry. He said I was being very rude to insult him like that. I said that he had been rude to insinuate that I was cheating on my husband, and that technically he was indeed a bstard. He is furious with me and mad at my husband for letting me talk about him that way. My husband told him that he brought this all on himself and that if he wants to be in our lives, he will treat us all with respect. He followed up that since we have the money now, there is nothing he can hold over if we choose to kick him back out. We are hearing a lot from relatives of my husband. Some good, some bad. Overall, they think I need to be more polite, but they agree he did this to himself.